Welcome to the Breakthrough Podcast with your host, Reba, a podcast motivated to help survivors of trauma heal and focus on their full potential.
Welcome back to another edition of the Breakthrough Podcast. I have not been here in a little while. And if you see me, you see I colored my hair. This is not my hair that I have on right now, but I colored my hair. If you watching on YouTube, which I prefer you watching, my hair is like a ombre orange, and I love it. It's just giving me different. It just giving me different personality in life. My kids love it, so all my friends and family love it. So I am on here without no makeup. I don't care. Today is Thanksgiving, so this video will be quick because I have to get it out to my graphic designer. So with that being said, we're just going to get right into the podcast. Like I said, it's going to be a quick podcast today only because it's Thanksgiving and I have a lot to do. So I hope you having a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope that today be a peaceful, joyful day for you. I know around the holiday time, it's very hard for everybody. Because a lot of family members die. You don't have the family members you had last year. People, unfortunately, argue, fight, fuss, like families do. There's a lot of trauma around this time. So, of course, I'm talking to most of my friends. I think me and most of my girlfriends are going through the same exact thing with family members. I'm experiencing a lot of stuff with mothers. So, yeah, this is a hard time. This is my favorite time of year. Of course, it's Christmas time. It's getting to Christmas time. I decorate my house. Didn't decorate my room this year because I just didn't feel like it. So the most I got is my little red silk comforter. That's it. But besides that, my front room and my kitchen is decorated. Didn't decorate my daughter's room this year because she just got too much stuff and she needs to learn how to keep her room clean. So with that being said, then my son, he just always have a boy room. It's nothing special. So I'm hoping that this Thanksgiving, this Christmas is happy for you guys. I am blessed to be here. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm just thankful to be here. First of all, just to even do this. Of course, you know I love this platform. I love doing what I do. I take breaks when I need to because mentally I need to withdraw to fill myself back up. And there's been a lot of things that's been happening, transpired in the last couple of months. So I need to just focus on me and my kids and filling us back up. So I just thank you for being here. I thank you for my friends and family that listen consistently, people that come on, like you haven't recorded a podcast, I haven't listened to your podcast, and then my new listeners, because I always still send out my podcast. With that being said, I just thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Today's podcast is pretty much we're staying on that realm of being thankful. For the last few days, I say probably like almost a week, I had to change my thinking because there has been so many spiritual attacks that I have to change my thinking of what's actually happening to what I'm thankful for. So, of course, I always start my podcast off of what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for my husband, my kids. I'm thankful for my family. And I'm also thankful for my friends that have become family. As you guys know, I have had a lot of friendships that have fell off, came back. It's been a journey. The friendship journey with me has been something. But I think that God is actually rebuilding me to be this different person that I was before. And when I say that is because I'm thankful that I had a friend just this week tell me, you need to start just pouring back into yourself because you're there for everybody else. And when your hard times come, my friends are there, but they're not. One, I'm a person that I don't like putting all my problems on other people. Two, at the same time, even if I tell you something, I'm not going to draw it out because what I learned is keep on going through the trauma and rehashing the trauma just doesn't do anything for you. It's like abuse. When you went through abuse, I'm an abuse advocate. I'm a survivor of abuse. So any kind of form of abuse, it don't matter if it's mental, physical, emotional, keep on talking about it, push you back in it, back through it. So when I use what I teach and what I'm learning myself to do it for my own self. Thirdly, I say I'm actually teaching my son. Me and my son had a great conversation yesterday about love and unconditional love. And I told him we was watching Hallmark movies. I've been watching Hallmark movies for the last week or so. This is my time to watch Hallmark movies, so I love them. But I was telling him they all start the same. They all end the same. And it's just like, it's the same Hallmark over and over again. You can just describe the same Hallmark. It doesn't matter. Hallmark, Lifetime, whatever you want to call it, Christmas movies are all the same. But I love watching them, even storyline, whatever. And I was explaining to him. I said, I just love them. And he was like, they just the same, Mom. And I'm like, right, they the same. Then I said, everybody puts on a mask when you first dating. I said, I love how they make it seem like, oh, live happy ever after, or whatever. And it's like, just in this synopsis of this hour-and-a-half movie, they went through a lot and everything else. And then they like, I want you. I went through airports and all the good stuff, right? And so showing up to houses, whatever you want to call it. And it's so funny because I was telling him, everybody put on a mask when they first date until you get into that storm, until you get into that hard time. And then that's when you really know that you love that person or that person love you, right? And I said, I said, when you come and tell me that you're in love with a girl and you want to marry her, I'm going to ask you, did you see the ugly side of her yet? And he was just like, what? And I was like, yeah. And I explained it to him in a way where unconditional love, so many times we say we love somebody because we love them with conditions. We only love them when the good things are happening, how they make us feel, what they do for us. We love them in those times. But what about that's all conditions. So what about the times that it's hard, when it gets hard? When you see the ugliest side of that person, and I tell people this all the time, my friends that say they want to get married, everything. When you say you want to get married, be prepared that marriage brings out the ugliest part of your mate. Because marriage is beautiful, but it's going to bring out the ugliest part of your mate. It's going to bring out parts that you didn't even think your mate had. And you have to fight through some things. Are you mentally well enough to fight through some things to say, I can fight through this to get through this. This is just a moment. This is not that person. And this is what I was explaining to him yesterday. I said, so when you in love, because most of the time it's in lust, let's be real. When you in love, that's when it really shows. And I'm not going to stay with this person and help this person become better, because that's what relationships should do. You should be helping each other become better people of Christ. Of course, it has to be a relationship with God. That's my number one recommendation. Because if you both are in the Word and in the Lord, you know what to do. Neither one of y'all going to run away, walk away. You're going to stay for the fight and say, okay, even if I'm mad at this person, I still got to forgive them. I love them. I made a vow to them. All those great things. But even before it gets to that, being in love with somebody, you have to understand that I got to love the ugliest part of them and still see them through it. But they going to have to love the ugliest part of you and see you through it. And when I was telling him, I said, and he was like, that makes sense, Mom. I didn't even think about that. I'm like, yeah. I was like, because it's all roses, bed of roses and perfume at the beginning. Everybody putting on a mask. I am the perfect person for you. You're not like nobody else. It's a mask. And it's not that you're doing it on purpose, like people putting on a mask on purpose. It's just that when you're doing a job interview, you want to put your best foot forward to say, I am the best person for this job. And I want them to feel like I'm the best person for this job. Even if they interview 50 people before me, I want to get picked as the best person at this job. And that don't mean that your resume, sometimes our resumes highlight our qualities, our expertise. And then sometimes we go in there and we don't even need the resume because we can speak for ourselves from our experiences. And most of the time when you get jobs, it goes off your experiences. Because I know a lot of people that got jobs without degrees, they got experiences because of they had so much years in it. But that goes back to what I was saying. After you having so much years in a relationship and foundation, you know if you want to stay or if you want to go. You know, it's not, oh, I'm just giving up. So I told him, I said, so don't tell me that. And then another thing is you have to be mentally, I'm going to say this one more time, mentally prepared. Because if you are a lot of people get this twisted. Mental illness is just not like I tell people all the time, like what's diagnosed. if you're not mentally as a man or a woman to be prepared for that mate when they go through that ugly side, or I was telling my son yesterday, I'm going through perimenopause, and I was explaining to him what perimenopause is. It's like before the menopause. And I sit there, and I was sitting on the couch, and I would just start sweating like a banshee, and I was just hot, and I was sweating, and my shirt was just soaking wet, and then I probably in another hour or so, I'm going to be freezing cold. That's what my perimenopause do. But also, it's like your hormones, you're doing hormones all over again, so you're irritated, agitated by everything. It's just like, it doesn't have to do with a period. It's just that your hormones are raging. And it seemed like it started at 40. I'm about to be 41 next month. So I was explaining to him, the reason I explained these things to my son, because I want him to be prepared that when a woman goes through something, he just don't run. When a woman goes through something, he just don't think it's about him. And I'm going to teach my daughter the same thing. Men go through their midlife crisis too. They go through, I'm getting older, I can't have kids, all the other health issues that they got that could stop things that they want to do. And you got to understand, okay, are you going to go along with them through that? Or are you going to be like, I don't think I want this. And that's only for you to deal with. And that's why I say the mental part. The mental part has to do with being mentally capable of, one, being spiritually intact of your relationship with God, to say, I got this. Two, whatever you signed up for, whether you be a fiance, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or a wife or a husband, that mentally you have God, so you can handle anything. But if you're spiritual, and I'm going to say this too, a lot of times, if your spiritual relationship with God is not right, your relationship with people, I don't care if it's friends, family members, your wife or your husband, it's not going to be right. You're going to fall and crumble at everything. That's just the truth. You're going to fall and crumble at everything, because you have to get this relationship right before you get all these relationships right. And that's a cross that I just made if people can't see me. And so that's what I'm learning, and I've learned, and I'm learning, still learning, that, okay, these last few weeks I've been getting, very agitated at my friends, my husband, and even my kids. But I had to keep on going to the Lord, like, okay, God. There is better for this. This is better. Okay, let me pray for them. Let me pray for their mental. Let me pray for their heart. Let me pray for their spiritual. I've been praying for people for the last month and a half more than I've been praying for my own self, to tell you the truth. My friends and my family. It's because, not just because for me, because everybody's going through something. And people need to get out of that. They think that you're the only person going through something. Well, somebody might be going through something worse than you. So this goes back to my thankfulness. The reason why I got on here, to be thankful. I'm thankful that I could wake up to my kids and my family. I'm thankful that I could have a home to come to. I'm about to move in the next couple of months, but still. I'm thankful that I have a job, that I'm able to have a job. A lot of people out here still struggling. We're going through a recession right now. I'm thankful that I have been in between funds, but I ain't been to the point where, we without. All our needs are met, and I can tell you that. Our needs have been met. So I'm thankful for those things. I'm thankful that I do have the friends that have been sisters, more than sisters to me. That, not replace my sisters, because I love my sisters, my birth sisters. But they have been sisters in replacement of my sisters for right now. I'm thankful for that I have the job that I have, that a degree that I have, that I could, like, this week I took off Tuesday just because I wanted to take off. And I get paid for it. But I have a job that I can do that, because I'm thankful that I went to school, that I get paid salary, and I could just take off when I want to and still get paid. And I just needed a day to myself. I'm thankful that I have the great boss that I have, that I'm telling her some things that I'm going through mentally. And she's like, okay, if you need to take this time, take the time. It's fine. I'm thankful, for the people that's around me, that's pouring into me, and that I'm pouring into. But with that being said, I'm also thankful for my life. I'm thankful that the stroke that I had, whatever it was, stroke in June, that I haven't had another one. I'm thankful that I'm going back and forth to the doctor. I've been in the hospital the last 3-4 months like four times, and I got another MRI that I have to do in December, a couple of days after my birthday, which I'm really scared about. But I'm thankful for that they're trying to figure out what's going on with my heart and my body and my brain right now. I'm just thankful that I have people walking me through that. My friends that's walking me through that and saying, okay, I'll be there for you. I'm thankful for that I have friends that pick up my kids from school when I can't pick up my kids from school, if I can't get off because I work at a school. So I'm thankful for these things. And so when I say the storms are hitting, I think 2025 is going to be a bigger thing for all of us, where this world, because of what's going on in the presidency and everything else, whatever else going on in the government, we just have to be thankful that the ones that know Christ, and we do our job to get more people to know Christ, the ones that know Christ, that we know Christ, and that we stay in his face, and that we don't fall. Because I think this year of 2024 of Revelation was more about us recognizing that God is still in control, and that he is not playing with us or nobody else. He wants to get our attention to the point of fact, what are we going to do when hard times come? Are we going to fall? Are we going to crumble? Are we going to run? Are we going to say, I can't do this? Or are we just going to get in God's face and say, God, I trust you no matter what? I'm thankful that I have a relationship with Christ, that I can do that. I'm thankful that I'm not perfect, but God loves me regardless. I'm thankful that he knows my heart. He knows that I love my family and my friends. He knows that I am truly a genuine and caring person, that I will put people before me. Sometimes that is to my demise, but I'm learning. I will help people that need help as much as possible. It's not just because I'm a life coach. I've been like this all my life, but I got to stop taking on projects. That's what I'm thankful for. This last month has been revelation for me, that I told my son something else. You got to love yourself more than you love somebody else, and you can't make people an idol. Okay. And so many times we get in relationships, we make people idle. And so when that happens, when they break our heart and they hurt us, or they do something that we don't think they're supposed to do, that ugly part, what I was telling y'all about earlier, be so petrified, like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, but you made them out like they couldn't hurt you. Love is hurt. And I tell people this all the time, and I tell my son this all the time. If you think you're going to get in a relationship and you're not going to get hurt, you lied, and somebody lied to you. Because how can you use it as a testimony later for other people to say, we went through this, we went through that, we went through this, and we came out of it by doing this, by standing in God's face, by reading our word, by having our friends pray for us, with us, you know what I'm saying? And also another thing, having solitude time that you fasting and you praying about what you need and what you want out of your life. That's another mental thing. Because if you just listen to everybody else, and this is what I do all the time, when I feel like it's too many people talking and I can't hear from God, I silence people out. How I do that? I turn my phone off. People don't like it. I don't care. I start answering phone calls. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb a lot. My phone is on Do Not Disturb pretty much 24/7. But I do that on purpose, because if it's too many people in my ear and I'm just trying to think about what I got to do and what they're saying and what their advice is and what their opinion is, what I should do and what I should do, but I have not considered going to God, then I go to them to see if God's telling me the same thing. Because God do use people. Don't get me wrong. God will send people as a boat to help. It's only up to you to get in that boat. God do send friends and family as a boat to help and say, now I'm going to send somebody to help you get through this, to help you understand that I'm doing this for your well-being. And if we keep on turning it down, that's on us. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about where God is not out there of confusion. So I get in my word. I read my scriptures. I pray. I fast. I want to hear what God is telling me about the situation. Then I may not talk to some of my friends. I might say something to them where I'll be like, I prayed about it and I'm just waiting for God to give me an answer. Or God gave me an answer. And sometimes I think last month God gave me an answer on something I was praying about, and I did not tell my friends. I just told them God gave me the answer I needed to hear. Everything ain't for everybody else. Your relationship with God is your relationship with God. And that's the most important thing. That's the most important time, especially when you're going through a storm. So I'm thankful that I can go to the Lord. Oh, there have been times me and God had teared. There have been times I've cried in his face and said, why, God, why? There have been times I have not understood the storm. And there have been times God told me to wait. There have been times that God gave me peace in the waiting. Even when I didn't want to wait, he like, but I'm working this out for your good. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever the outcome is, he's working it out for my good. There have been times, like I said, sometimes you just got to be silenced and not tell people. Some family members and friends don't need to know everything. That's for the Lord. So I'm thankful that I can go to the Lord and let people guess. You can let people wonder. You can let people figure it out. You don't have to answer. If your time is your time, set your boundaries. I talk about boundaries all the time because a lot of people I realize don't have boundaries. They don't. They just let people come in and say anything to them, do anything to them, and then they wonder why their life is going in chaos. They don't have boundaries. Maybe it's time for you to go sit down and talk to the Lord and see what the Lord is telling you. And if what you're doing or not doing is biblical, is God giving you peace about it. There have been times I've done stuff and I knew it wasn't biblical in the word. And I'm like, no, I'm going to pay for this. I knew it. Then there have been times I didn't know. I thought I was doing the right thing. Stepped out and did some stuff. And God like, okay, daughter, I told you that, but I didn't tell you right now. You could have waited a little bit longer. And there have been times I have heard from the Lord, did it on time. Whatever reason or way it was, it happened for a purpose. And I say this because I'm thankful for God's divine timing, that regardless of what the situation is, regardless of how bad it looks, what storm you are in, because all storms don't last forever. You're going to come out of it. And it's going to be a testimony. It might not even be a testimony you want it to be, but it's going to be a testimony. Trust. So I'm just thankful for this Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed Thanksgiving. Get out, get with some friends. Be around some people that's going to make you happy. Or be by yourself if that's just going to make you happy. Do today what you want to do. Okay? Be self-sufficient. Be in the Lord. Graft yourself around people that are going to pour into you. You can pour into them. And have a happy Thanksgiving. I will see you guys back next week. Thank you. Bye.